Hello. I wanted to do another one quick, just talking about why it's never too late to change. It's never too late to change anything. Anything about your life, especially when you're young, is the best time to make those changes, you know? Because I'll talk a little bit about myself. Before I posted my first video 3 months ago, I was, in a really bad spot. I was going through a lot of stuff, a lot of bad relationships, a lot of really toxic people, a lot of substance abuse, stuff like that. That genuinely is just not somewhere you want to be. But I will say that I made quite a few changes that have positively impacted my life for the better and for my future. Because I've always been someone who actively goes to, make steps to achieve their goals. I actively pursue the things I want to do, to try and reach where I want to be for, a better future. And I just want to say that it is discouraging when you're surrounded by people who don't necessarily have a positive mindset like that, and it's hard for people nowadays to recognize toxic behavior and narcissistic people who really only want to keep you in a certain place. Like, they don't really want to encourage growth. They don't want to see you do better than them. They want to put you down. They want to see you stay the same. They don't want you to go anywhere, And it's just getting harder and harder to recognize that, like, in today's day and age, it's just getting worse and worse. Just because there are so many things to turn your attention away from having a healthy social life, where most people are chronically online and they don't understand, they don't just kind of push it off to the side and stuff like that. But I just want to say, like, it's never too late to change anything about yourself. Even if you're not young, like, you can always change. The most overlooked thing about the human race is that I need quotes for this, people never change. And that's just simply not the truth. If somebody doesn't change, it's because they don't think that there's anywhere they need, like, they don't think that there's anything they need to change about themselves. They don't think that, they can get to a better place than where they're at, and that's simply not the truth. It doesn't matter where you are in life. There's always something new. There's always a new experience. There's always something new to explore and learn and stuff like that. Like, there's never going to be a point in your life where you're not growing and you're not changing. People were constantly changing in little ways and big ways and stuff like that. But I did make a few healthy decisions. I was an avid smoker for 4 years. Like, every day I would start my day. It's how I would end my day. And I made up excuses to, keep doing it. And that's what most people do. But one day, I just got fed up and I stopped. I stopped doing the weed. I stopped smoking, and I stopped indulging in all substances altogether. Just because, all they are is a hindrance to your natural state. It hinders all of your abilities, your mindset, your emotions, everything like that. And more importantly, it pushes people away. And now that can be a good thing, but in most cases it's a bad thing, because when you're going through life and you're not actively, you're not actively sober, you're not gonna pick up on these things that you would normally. And you don't pick up on the unhealthy behavior, you don't pick up on, you know, if someone's being toxic, you just kind of go with it and you suck it up. But being able to think with a clear mind consistently will put you in a better place and, you know, inspire growth for the future. You know, it'll put you in a better spot, and it's the right steps you want to take towards a better future. But, you know, not everybody can look at how someone's acting and understand that they're a narcissistic person and they only want attention and they just want to put people down. You know, there are people out here who give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and they make an excuse for them on why they acted that way, when in reality, you know deep down that why they acted that way is just a reflection of self. And, you know, I don't want this to go on too long, so I'm probably going to leave it at that. But, you know, you always want to inspire a change in yourself for the better. Always. Always. So with that being said, I will say, don't make excuses. You know, next time you think about getting something done, actually do it. You know, don't make excuses. Change comes slowly. It doesn't happen overnight. But the idea of change can happen in an instant. And let's do one more. You know, stay true to yourself, and not just being like, oh yeah, stay true to yourself, you know, do good things and stuff like that. No, genuinely, before you enter a room, you know, try and always put your needs first. You know, obviously the people you care about, you're going to care about what they care about, but always put yourself first in every situation, you know. And that doesn't mean be selfish, but you do want to be a little bit selfish, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, you want to make sure that you're in a situation that you want to be in before you continue. You know, like if you walk in somewhere and you don't necessarily like the atmosphere or you don't like the people, you know, I always try new experiences, but if that initial feeling of I don't like this doesn't go away, then I'm out of there, bro. Like, I'm not sticking around. I'm not gonna put myself somewhere I don't want to be. And that's about it. Peace.